easily confused at the beginning of this journey before I realized how much my soul was, I guess, meant, before I realized that people were actually, before I realized that the battle of the souls was a real thing, um, I actually, I wouldn't say I was worshiping La Santa Muerte, but I was definitely like almost, on her side a little bit. Like, I guess you could say I worshiped her a little. Like at one point, I did, because you know, Santa Muerte, Holy Death. I thought that it was. I was trying to work with the light. You know what I mean? I had read this. I was into a lot of like information about the Toltecs from Mexico and the lineages of Nahuals from Mexico, Sonora, and stuff like that. And they mentioned in that book um, accepting the holy death or the angel. No, they didn't say holy death. They said accepting the angel of death. I forgot why he said he was like, accepting the angel of death because they help transition souls so that we know what he didn't actually say. The author of the book, Carlos Castaneda, he didn't actually say. I forgot what he said, but anyway, he mentioned, accepting the angel of death. So I had done that. You know, I had. Wait, let me get behind my angel wings. Hold up, Angelita. Can you see him? Okay, whatever. But he mentioned, accepting the angel of death. So a little while later, I became, more in. There's a time where I got more into the Mexican culture. Not because I didn't like my own culture. We, as not just a black woman, but Trinidadians, my mom is from Trinidad, so we have a lot of culture in Trinidad. Our music, our food, the way we talk, the way we do things. So I have culture not as a black woman, but as a black woman that has parents from the Caribbean. I have culture with myself, but I was just dating. I was, dating a lot of people of Latin descent. So I, of course, was into, Los Posadas. That's how I got introduced to, Guadalupe and, different things, the music, narco corridos, um, just different stuff within, the Mexican culture. And I came upon some. Oh, this is an interesting story. So the reason how I came up on La Santa Muerte was because I used to date this guy. I'm gonna just call him AB, which are my initials, ironically, but it's not me. So I used to date this guy, and I was living with him and his mom, his sister, her kids. It was like 9 of us in a 1-bedroom apartment. No lie. Yeah, he was Mexican. I think he was Mexican and Puerto Rican mixed. I think he more identified with Mexican culture, and I was living there for like a few months, whatever. But it's so funny. His sister. I'm laughing because it's so dumb. His sister had. I used to go to the Dia de los Muertos festival in Hollywood. I used to go there years ago when I lived in LA. 2015. No. Yeah, 2015. The first guy that I'm not gonna get into that, but I've been to. I was familiar with Dia de los Muertos and the what do you call that? And the appreciation, of the ancestors and things like that. So she had. I can't even say it without laughing. She just had a picture of like the little skull. I forget exactly what you call the little thing of a sugar skull, basically. She had a picture on the wall of a sugar skull, and he flipped out. his sister had a picture of the sugar skull on the wall, and he flipped out and was like, see, she worshipped that shit. See, she worshipped the muerte, and see, she's into that shit, dude. And I was like, what are you talking about? At this time, I had not heard of this specific deity, and like I wasn't familiar with the underworld as I am now. So I was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, yo, that doesn't mean she worships whatever because she has a fucking sugar skull. I was like, everybody has sugar skulls, whatever. He was like, no, she's into that shit and this and that. So anyway, that's how I first heard of this person. And you know, reading books, and they said accepting that angel of death or whatever. So there was a few times where I had invited her in, I guess, to my meditations and stuff like that, because I thought she was like I didn't think it was bad, but as time went on, I realized that she wanted my full soul. She didn't just want me, you know, I couldn't just use her when I wanted, I guess, you know what I mean, to help her. I couldn't just pray to her part-time. I had to really give myself to her, you know, which if anyone is familiar with this, they know that it can really lead to some dark stuff that it just really depends on what you believe in. Some people might not think it's dark at all, but you know, things that I'm definitely not into and definitely not willing to do. I don't care for what price. But you know, I had, you know, at some point prayed, invited her in, and then there came a time where La Santa Muerte tried to consume me, you know, officially. You know, it was like it knew that I would never outright commit to being in the dark, so she tried to use sneaky ways in order to get me over to that side. And I seen it for what it was, and you know what I mean? I'm like out of worshiping her altogether. And the reason why I acknowledge her presence or whatever is because I know in certain, you know, I can just sense it. Because I just know, just how I know Guadalupe is a real saint, and my saint, you know, there are also forces that are fighting against her. And fortunately with me, they did not win over my soul or anything, because that's what I was brought here to do. I'm a bringer of light, and the fact that, you know, the other side ever thought I would be swayed is hilarious to me. Like, no sir. So, and then of course when I met Guadalupe, it was the exact opposite. You know what I mean? I got clean off of a lot of things. I started getting my life together. I started getting promoted at my job. I started focusing and becoming a really hard worker. And I really experienced a lot of spiritual alignment when I really built that relationship with La Señora, because it was genuine, and I didn't, you know, it felt right. It felt right because y'all might not believe this, you might. At one point, I was calling myself, I'm a fucking clown, yo. At one point, I was calling myself La Narca Santera, okay? Don't talk shit about me. I was, okay? Because I'm not even going to say what my mission was as La Narca Santera. I'm going to leave that alone. But at the time, I was dating a guy that was, you know, selling a little drugs here and there. And I was determined to protect him from being caught, him or his people being caught selling those drugs. I was determined to, you know, help bad people. When I was La Narca Santera, my mission was to protect bad people. And I was La Santa Buchona. My mission is to keep the light on earth, which is a mission of higher vibration. And that's what I was sent here to do. Like, I could have done the other thing, because we have a destiny, but we all have a choice. I could have been La Narca Santera and been successful and protected, you know, fucking cartels and been fucking my wife. You know, I could have done all of that, but it's not of the highest elevation. It's not what I was sent here to do. And if I had done that, I would have been working for evil forces. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say, is because I haven't done a video in a while, and I also wanted to acknowledge the fact that I know both presents. I know Nuestra Señora de Guadalupe because she is my saint that brought me out into the upper world. La Santa Muerte is the deity that brought me down. You know what I mean? And a lot of my ex-boyfriends were connected to her, which connected me to her, and I had to literally cut ties from a lot of people because they wanted to keep me in that realm of evilness because I was so powerful, and they wanted to keep me there. But the light won. Tell them Guadalupe. Okay. Can you see? That's James. Rest in peace. My good friend who, you know, life was just too much to handle. And mi abuela.